Our policies, our training, our practice do not support his actions. He came into the call out of control, and as the video shows, was out of control during the incident. I had 12 officers on the scene, and 11 of them performed according to their training. They did an excellent
job, I guess is what he was going to say. Joining us now is Bernard Kerik, former commissioner of the NYPD and author of From Jailer to Jailed. Bernie, welcome, sir.
Thanks, Steve.
All right, you saw the video that everybody else saw, and you saw that police officer in action. What was your take on it, and do you believe that, you know, whether he quit or was told to quit, he's gone? Is that appropriate?
Well, I think that's a decision he had to make. I think it was premature. You know, in my opinion, I think it was premature. An investigation should have been conducted to determine exactly what happened, you know, what he was thinking at the time. Obviously, he resigned, or he was pushed to resign by the chief. The chief has already made up his mind that he was out of control, I think the chief said.
Yep.
Well, maybe the chief knows stuff that we don't know. But keep in mind, we didn't see all of the video. We didn't see what happened when he got there. We don't know what was going on other than this crazy fight that was going on. But, you know, listen, you've got to keep your composure. You've got to keep your wits about you. You can't lose control. And in this case, the chief thinks that's what he did. So, you know, maybe it's justified.
Or maybe it's political correctness. I'm so glad to hear you say that because, you know, as a layman who has, you know, supported police his whole professional and non-professional career, like most, like everyone should, I just saw a cop responding to a chaotic situation. He pushed other people on the head, basically, and said, get down, and they got down. This girl did not. So he acted accordingly, and then when the two guys came up upon him suddenly while he was down in a prone position with that girl, you know, he didn't know who was coming charging at him, so he got up quickly and took his gun up and holstered it immediately. And everyone's making such a big deal. Oh my God, he pulled a gun on kids. He didn't know who was charging him at that point. Do you agree?
Well, yeah, you know what, Steve, and this is the problem. Nobody should Monday morning quarterback these incidents until there's an investigation.
Right.
You don't know what the guy was thinking. You don't know how many more people there were. We only saw the video from the perspective it was taken. You don't know what his threat level was. What did he think? Why did he think there was some sort of threat where he had to pull his weapon? These are all questions that are looked at by a disciplinary review board, if you will, within the department. But in this case, it won't happen because he's already resigned.
All right, let's move on to a story that was the front page of today's New York Daily News based on an interview with The Guardian, a British newspaper, with New York City Police Commissioner, of course a position you used to hold, Bill Bratton, who allegedly said, with regard to hiring more black police officers, we have a significant population gap among African-American males because so many of them have spent time in jail, and as such, we can't hire them. He then put part of the blame on NYPD's use of stop and frisk, according to the Guardian, and that part surprises me. But let's take it one by one. Now, by the way, he's demanding a total retraction. He says he didn't say it, but does he? I mean, if he said it, let's work under that assumption. If he said it, is he right? I mean, is that out of line, or how do you interpret that?
First of all, I have two issues. One, there is a recruiting policy within the NYPD. In every precinct, every borough, there is an aggressive recruiting policy, and it doesn't, regardless of the color of the community. There is a major recruiting policy in New York City. If you live within the 5 boroughs or the surrounding boroughs, you can apply for the job. If you apply for the job, you have to pass a background, a physical, a psychological, and a medical. If you do that, then you're eligible for the job. And I don't care what, you could be purple polka dotted for all I care. It doesn't make any difference. So that's number one. The stop and frisk thing, reducing, you know, being responsible for blacks being arrested, no, or minorities being arrested, that I disagree with. You get arrested when you commit a crime.
Right.
Stop and frisk is a tool to look for guns and take bad people off the streets. It's a tool. It's a necessary tool, in my opinion. I've said it from the beginning when de Blasio said that he wanted to remove it and diminish it. The bottom line is, cops need a tool like stop and frisk. I believe that. I don't think stop and frisk is responsible for arresting black Americans, Afro-Americans. It's not. You arrest them, you charge them with a crime when they violate the law. That's the bottom line.
If he said these remarks, there are going to be people coming out of the woodwork demanding he take them back or resign or be fired. If he said these, should anything happen to him?
Well, look, you know, I can't answer for him. I have an enormous amount of respect for him, admiration for him, what he did in New York City back in the 90s, what he did in LA, what he did in Boston. He's a highly respected law enforcement official in my view, and in the view of many others. I think he should be given the right to explain himself, and given that he's asked for a full retraction already, I think we should give it some time to figure out exactly what he really did say.
All right, in your capacity as the envoy, presidential envoy to Iraq, let me ask you about this new plan. I mean, 2 days ago, the president said, we have no plan to fight ISIS. We're still waiting for the Pentagon to give us one, which is, of course, nonsense. And today, we have a quote-unquote plan, 500 more people to Iraq to train the Iraqis. What's going on here?
Well, first of all, I think throwing the Pentagon under the bus is outrageous. I mean, it's completely outrageous. You know, I am confident the Pentagon, if the president wanted plans, he would have gotten them from the Pentagon when he wanted them. So that's number one. Number two, I think we need more people on the ground to train and work with and guide the Iraqis. I don't know the numbers like the generals. You know, I'd say the president has to meet with the Pentagon, meet with the commanding generals, give them the authority to do what they have to do, and they'll get the job done. I think right now they don't have the authority, they don't have the support, they have no real mission statement from the White House, admittedly, and I think that's the problem.
Yep. All right, Commissioner, always great to talk to you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Steve.
All right, Bernie Kerik, ladies and gentlemen. Again, his book, From Jailer to Jail. There it is on your screen. And always great to weigh in with the former commissioner of NYPD. Up next, the former U.S. ambassador to the United Nations, Alan Keyes, will be here. Don't go away.